Hey guys, it's SJ. Happy Baby Name Monday. Welcome back to my channel. There is a new baby name list here on my YouTube channel every single Monday. And today I'm doing a short series around names that I think will trend and boom after this global pandemic. So whenever there's a huge change in the world, political unrest, or something as huge as this, we see like a war or something, we see that affect all parts of culture, and baby names is a huge one where you will start to see a change in the trends and the themes that parents are picking. The next generation is called Generation Alpha, which is interesting, and they've already been told that they're going to be, what's already been predicted, that they're the most connected generation yet. And this time, while we've all been ironically at home and locked in, we're also more connected than ever. So I think that a huge trend is going to be that return to our core values of society. So I've called this trend the True Believers, just for fun. And basically what it is very modern virtue names. So virtue names like mercy, hope, grace have been around, and lots of people connect them to the Puritans, which was a very specific and dedicated religious group who took words from the scripture and used them as names. The #1 boy names for Puritans was actually True Love, which is lovely, isn't it? And then you've seen that carry on through society, and we see real modern celebrities using this over in the US. So of course, Khloe Kardashian, who has baby True, is a huge example of this. And I love the names so much, but I think that there is a whole new wave of virtue names to come out for this post-virus world, all to do with the new beliefs and the strong feelings of connection that our new generation will have. My daughter's playing just there, here's some banging around. So the first name I've got on my list is a gorgeous boy name, and it's the name Solomon. So it might not be one you've thought of, but I think it's really nice, and Sebastian's so popular. Solomon's a little bit more of a unique choice, and I love the nickname Sol, and it actually means peaceful, which is so lovely, and that's the type of virtue names that I think are going to be really important for after this. You know, we're looking for that peace and we're looking for that kind of meaning. The next one is the lovely name Felicity, and Felicity is a really well-known name. Funnily enough, it was actually one of the top risers in the UK last year, and it ended up in the top 100 for the first time. And it's got such a lovely meaning because it means intense happiness, but it also kind of links to domestic happiness and happiness at home, which is so perfect, isn't it? Because obviously we're all in lockdown. It's such a thing, a strange experience that we're having at the moment, and that these children will all be connected by in their peer group, which I think is so nice. And I love the name Felicity, I love the nickname Flick, and it's just a really interesting meaning that I didn't realise it meant that. And it's a great one. Reverie is an unranked name. It's, I think, for girls, but could be for boys. And I just think it's so nice, a real alternative to like Evelyn, all those names that are so popular. I mean, I've got an Evelina, so I love this name. And it means a dreamlike state. And I think it's just a really gorgeous bohemian name within this trend of these kind of true believers, and this kind of back to basics and back to really looking into ourselves, almost being a bit spiritual. I think Reverie really fits into that. Amity means friendship, and I think that's a huge thing that's come out of this time, is this sense of community and reliance on each other, and stay home so others stay safe, and the importance of friendship and how much we miss our friends as well. I just think amity is a beautiful value that will continue in the children's lives after all of this, and hopefully with all of us. Our spirit of community is one of the biggest shifts, and amity really sums that up. There were 7 girls called Amity last year, so it is in use, and it's very similar to names like Amy and Emily, but Amity is a really, really, really lovely name. I love the name Joy. It's a classic virtue name, but one that hasn't really been around and never made the peaks of things like faith and hope and all those types of names. Joy, I love it so much. I love it for a middle school. It was on my list, and Evelina was so nearly Evelina Joy, but she's Evelina Blossom. You can tell the names I like. It's at number 545, and I can see that really rising. I've heard a few people picking Joy for middle spots, so I think it's going to be coming up the ranks. This name, it had 6 boys and 6 girls exactly called this name last year, and it's the name Hero. So I can see this again, you know, we're talking so much about the real heroes of the world at the moment, being the NHS, being the key workers, being all of those frontline staff in the supermarkets, the bin men, everybody who's still out there working. And I think that also, if you're a parent, if you're going through pregnancy and labour in this difficult time, you should really think of yourself as one of those real heroes, because no one else has had to do that before. It is a really different time, and your baby will feel so much more protected. I know, I can imagine how it feels, and I think the name Hero is lovely. It's become very used for girls. I love it for girls. I think that for boys it's a bit difficult to use hero because it's so linked with like romantic hero or being buff and strong, and if you didn't live up to that name it could be pretty tough for you. But I think for a girl it's just got that quirkiness about it, and I love it. I would love to see that one soar. The name Charity, totally unranked in the UK. I'm so surprised. I thought that Charity would really boom after The Greatest Showman anyway, because that's the name of Phineas's wife, Charity. But the results are always a couple of years behind. But again, Charity, such a huge part of the world, and I think it's such a huge part for this generation Alpha that are going to be coming up giving, and being much more community and global minded. Now we've all been through a global pandemic. I mean, the world will be different. We might be less connected through travel for a while, but then we'll have more of a spirit of knowing what's going on around the world and caring a lot more, hopefully. And Charity, that's where it starts. So I love the name. It's got such a Southern bellness to it, doesn't it, Charity? She was such a beautiful character in that movie. Blythe is a name I talk about a lot, and it means to be carefree. And so it's just a gorgeous one, a gorgeous way of using a sort of a virtue name to bestow something onto a child, and that they have a carefree life, that they have a happy life. That would be a real blessing for them. It's only ranked number 2090 at the moment, and it's all for girls actually that has been used, but it really works for boys. My lovely friend Delilah at Keys Live, who has an amazing YouTube channel, I'll link it if you're a mum. You'll love it. It's like an indie movie watching her videos, and her little boy is Theodore Blythe, and I was like, yes, perfect. I think it would definitely be a middle spot for either gender if I was to have another baby, not having one. Bravery has come up a lot on these name lists as a sort of trending name. It's totally unranked at the moment, but it is something that, you know, works as a name. Like, we love those B names. It's not dissimilar from Oliver and Olivia, which are our top names. Bravery is a lovely one, or even Braveheart. I know you're like, what is this girl talking about now? But Braveheart, you know, the Puritan way was really to take two words and put them together, and I've got some lovely examples at the end of how you can do that and make like a double meaning. But Braveheart works, but you know, I was just watching My Little Pony. There is a pony called Braveheart. Wouldn't put me off. Harbour is a great name. There was only 3 boys named Harbour last year, and it works so well. It's a safe place within a storm or within the sea and the choppy waves, and it's a beautiful virtue. It's kind of like a word that means something else, and you can also harbour feelings towards something, which I think is a really nice use of it. Haven, there were 9 girls and 3 boys named Haven last year. A safe haven is beautiful meaning for now, and again, so similar sounding to other names that we have out there, so I feel it's really usable. I know in the UK we have the caravan parks called Haven, which puts some parents off, but Haven, but I don't know, I just think it's gorgeous. I love the name Constance, I love the nickname Connie, but I've put on my list Constanza, which is the Spanish variant of the same, because I think that some people find Constance quite fuddy-duddy, and that vintage pull hasn't quite come back for some people. It's fine for me. I love Constanza, if that is putting you off, with the nickname Connie, which is lovely, and it means to be steadfast, to be steady, which is gorgeous as well. Maverick, I can't believe how popular this is. There are 600 oh no, it was ranked at number 610 at the moment, which is quite high. Maverick, do you know Maverick? Have you chosen Maverick? It means to be like the wild card, the spontaneous one. It was even higher before. It was at number 545 in the ranks before, so right up there. Maverick, yeah, it's a really cool one. I wonder if that kind of rebellious spirit will come through a little bit more in our baby names. Serenity is almost the opposite. It obviously means peaceful, beautiful girl's name. I love it. I like the name Serena a lot. I like Seren, which means star in Welsh. Serenity at number 886, a real hippie throwback, but really feels right for now. I can imagine having a baby and calling it Serenity and having this real peaceful bubble within this crazy world we're living in now. How about the name Patience? So Patience, funnily enough, it really peaked in the year 2006. If anyone can tell me why, let me know in the comments below. There were 31 babies called Patience in 2006, and then it dropped back off again. Now there were 8 last year, but it's just so weird. I was thinking, is that when the Take That song came out? I do love that song. Patience, but again, a really unusual, unique version of a virtue name, but one that's really good. So a name hitting almost every trend at the moment is the name Sage. It's gender neutral, it's nature, it's got this lovely virtue meaning as well, which is to be wise, to be sage, and also to be serious. You know, I think that's a really, feels like now to me, you know, a time for us to take stock and rethink things. And also sage is that real botanical trend that's massive across baby names. 11 boys, 5 girls named Sage last year, but I think that will probably have already jumped quite a lot. The name Promise has been used a lot, and that's really nice. And it's done a switch. So back in 2006, there were 5 boys and 4 girls named Promise, and then it carried on going up the ranks in 2009, but it was 6 girls, 5 boys. So Promise, isn't that lovely? I mean, I've never met anyone called Promise, and it just seems so lovely. Like, it seems really, really wearable and nice. It's a name you'd always be stuck explaining a little bit, wouldn't it, if you were named Promise? But I like it a lot. It's Primrose is so popular, and Promise is very similar to that, and it's nice to see it in use. Verity is a really well-known one, but a bit less out there obvious, and I think it's great. You know, if people love Olivia and it's been pinched by someone, it's the #1 girl name, you could go with Verity, which means truth, and it's only at number 349. So you've got a much more unique choice, but a very lovely name. Bliss, such a nice name. It means ultimate happiness. 12 girls were called Bliss last year, but it was as high as 19 girls in 2006 again. What was going on? I love the name Bliss. I think it's really wearable. Liz really reminds me of names like Liz. You know, it's just a very, very common word as well, one that we can all understand, and lovely meaning. For boys, a classic vintage name, Earnest. How much do you love the name Earnest? Ernie. I think it's adorable for a baby. It would be so, so cute. And it's rising up. It's number 326. It's a so slow and steady riser. It's got that granddad cool, doesn't it? It obviously means to be sincere, which is a really lovely meaning. Journey, second to last. Again, dead neutral, 4 girls and 4 boys named Journey last year, is a really popular one, I think, over in the US, probably more in use. So if anyone has the stats for the US, pop them below. Journey. And the last one I've got on is unranked, which is crazy, and it's the name Pax. So with Jax being like, Jax as a name is so popular in the UK at the moment, and it's a great name. But I thought that Pax would have come up, and it means peace. And it's such a lovely name, and it's spelt so beautifully. I think it looks so nice. It's a Latin word for peace. And I think Angelina Jolie has a Pax, doesn't she? And I just think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous name. And I think it could also, again, work for girls as well. Be a really sweet, offbeat choice. So those are my new true believer names, modern virtue names for a post-virus world, that I hope that these are I think we'll see a return to core values and shared beliefs amongst the community a lot more. We've really come together and stripped away what isn't important, and they're focusing on what is important, and that's why I think that will come through as a huge trend post-virus. So let me shout you guys out. Thanks for joining in the community tab. If you want to join in and be a part of these videos, then do hit subscribe now. I would love you to be here as part of my community. Do share with a friend who is pregnant, get them along to get some name suggestions, and yeah, once you're a subscriber, you can go across to my community tab, so you'll just see it, the videos playlists, where you can watch all the baby name videos, and then community, and we all join in over there. So I wanted to shout out just a few people, but there's brilliant, loads of comments, loads of names there. There's 235 comments, and loads of people put more than one name. So if you like this theme and you're looking for a baby name, you'll get tons. So first of all, Conservative MUA, hi. You have a little boy named August, which is such a good name. And August and Augustus both mean to be venerable or great. And that's such a lovely, lovely name. And actually, you've got Patrick, which means noble. And noble is a great virtue name as well. Dear Paul, hi there. She had this lovely name. I think you would say it Alinea or Alenia. I was trying to work out the pronunciation without googling it. How are you saying it? You have to write it phonetically for me. And it's a proofreader's mark to start the beginning of a new train of thought. So like a new idea, and to begin anew. That is so lovely, and such a kind of like geeky literary name as well, with so many great meanings for it. So yeah, definitely go with using that. have to show you what Katie has done. Hi Katie. She's put together 2 names to give a double virtue meaning. So she's got Evelyn Blythe to mean, Evelyn means life, and Blythe to mean carefree, so it means a carefree happy life. Thea Sage, which means godly wise. Verity Bliss, truth and happiness. Oh, I loved this. Rosalind Bloom, which means wisdom and youth. And Emery Rose, which means brave love. I bow down to you, Katie. Those are absolutely amazing. Trinity, hi, you also have a virtue name. Trinity, we're coming up on a lot of virtue names. Merit for a boy, but I love that you had a childhood friend named Comfort. I love those types of names. Oh yeah, so much comfort in being a mum at the moment. It's absolutely lovely. Amy, hi Amy Elizabeth Johnston, had a whole list of gorgeous names, and a lot of them are already on my list, but I loved Honora, which means light, because Nora is one of my favourite like vintage girls names, and Honora sounds so good. Debbie, hi Debbie, had the name Tenderly. That is so lovely, and it's a bit like Kimberly, Tenderly. That is so lovely. Oh, and Leah, I just wanted to shout out her lovely idea of the name Frieda, which means peaceful in German, and I think Frieda is such a great name anyway, and I love the fact that it means peaceful in German, and also because I had so many of your names on my list already. I was like, she's been reading my list, so I didn't have Frieda, or Yori, which means faith in Japanese. You've got some great names there. There's tons more. Do join in next week. Thank you so much for being here and for listening and for joining in. Stay home, stay safe, watch all my videos, why not, you know. What a thing to do in lockdown. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here every single week, and I will see you next week for another big trend. If you've got any trend suggestions, pop them below as well. Bye guys.